Good morning, everybody. How is all of my funky junk friends today? How's everybody? It's a wonderful Monday morning, right? We all love Monday mornings, right? Right on, right on. Today, you guys, I'm going to slide my chair around here a little bit. Today, I am on Craft Around the Clock. I'm a little crooked. Let me just goosh me like that. There we go. So if you're jumping on, make sure you say hello. And how is everyone? Let me know that you are here so that I can see your comment and all that kind of fun stuff. Got a couple projects here that I think will be fun to start off our fun Monday morning. So hello, Lois. How are you? How are you today, you guys? And your Pat just got finished up. So let's get started here. Because of course, you know, I grabbed two projects because I don't know, I always am getting more than I can do, but that's okay. Hello, good morning, sweet Chris. How are you? Okay, so here's my first project that I'm going to do. Is I have this tag, and it's actually from Essential Stencils right here, and I'll make the noise and get it pulled out here. There we go. Hello, Kathy. Good morning, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab my other camera view so that you can see what's happening down below. There we go. There we go. Anyway, okay, so I have this tag right here, and it is from Essential Stencil, but you can get your tags anywhere. But we're going to put hello on here. But before we put hello on our tag, we are going to put some polka dots. We're going to paint it white, put some red polka dots all over it. And then I have this fun little ladybug that I cut out on my laser, and we're going to put this on here with it. Simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And of course, I did not pull ribbon out like a silly goose, but we'll have to make us a little bow for that. The next thing we're going to do is, I know a lot of you have probably seen this stencil from Essential Stencil with the windmill and the country roads take me home. I thought that would fit on there, but maybe it's not. But anyway, I want to do the stencil with the windmill. I haven't had the chance to use that yet, and I definitely want to use that. I was going to put that across there, but I didn't double check to make sure it would fit, and it won't fit. So we'll have to hold on that and see if that's the wood we want to use. We might want to grab another piece over here. Hello, Crafty Queens. Hello, Miss Mary. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Teresa. Hello, everybody. So let's get started with this fun little guy here. So first thing we need to do is we need to paint him white. And I'm going to paint it white, but it's going to be kind of a, we're going to stain it first, and then we're going to kind of dry brush. I don't know. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do the, well, we put the wax on it. I'm not sure. I'm going to stain it first, and then we'll go from there. And the first thing I'm going to use is, I'm actually not going to stain it. I'm going to glaze it. I'm going to use the Valspar Antiquing Glaze, and we're just going to cover the whole thing with that. So turn your board. Well, the board is a 12 by 12. The board here is a square. So that's okay. I may have another board here behind me. We'll check it out. We'll figure it out. Probably by then, knowing me, if you guys follow me, hello from Northern California. I'll change my mind 16 times before we get there. I tend to like to change my mind constantly. So does anybody have any fun plans this week or anything exciting happening? It's my daughter's birthday's this week, and she'll be 32. Can you believe that? My little baby's going to be 32 this week. That is crazy for me to think about. I still picture her little, you know, skimpy, scrushed up, real thin blonde hair. She always has. I can just still picture her little blonde pigtails in a little, one of them little outfits like we used to dress our kids back in the 90s, you know, that had the ruffles and all the stuff going on, you know, that matched. It would be like red polka dot pants and then like a striped shirt, and it had a little cute thing on there. So, wow, you're spending the day with your 16-year-old. Well, that's cool. That's cool. My 14-year-old granddaughter came home last night. She's been down in Arkansas at her dad's. So, she came home yesterday. I'm glad that she's back home, and probably going to spend most of the day doing some stuff with her. We've got to get school shopping done and all that kind of fun stuff because it was kind of a last minute thing that she went down there. Her sister didn't go. She didn't want to go, so. But I think we have all of her stuff except for, like, she'll be a junior. She don't need much. Paper, basically paper. But it doesn't involve all the extras like normal, like the younger children, So it didn't look square. Yeah, it's square, so we'll figure it out. We always do. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some, I don't know. What should we do? Should we put some Vaseline on this and make it a little chippy? I've actually never, ever done that. I've watched people do it all the time, and I actually have some Vaseline right up here. If you'll hold a second, I'll grab some, and we'll try it. I mean, I've not done it. I mean, why not? Why not? So we'll just take a little bit of Vaseline and put it in a few spots on here. And I don't want it to be like super duper chippy, because it's a it's the, the whatever that is, ladybug. But I don't know, this might be kind of cool. I don't know if I'm putting it on too thin or too thick because, like I said, I've never done this before. So we'll just see how it turns out for me, and I'll know next time, right? The 30, yeah. My second and third graders require a lot. I know. Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because my youngest granddaughter that lives here with me, she'll be a freshman. And while she was down at her dad's in Arkansas, she calls me and she says, can you send me my school supply list? And I was like, well, honey, you're a freshman now. You don't really have a school supply list. You'll need stuff like, the calculator and things like that for, let me grab my white paint. There it is. You'll need your calculator and stuff like that for algebra. But as far as like a school supply list, you really don't have one. Oh. She goes, well, I already had a bunch of stuff picked out. And it's like, well, you don't really need a whole lot. It's just funny her perception was, that she would need a bunch of school supplies. That's not going to fit in my bottle. Let's get a paintbrush that'll fit down in the bottle. So, but she, I think she's really excited to be home. It's rough being away when you're, she doesn't think that she would miss Grandma, but she missed me while she was gone. She's pretty excited to be here. So here we go. Now this paint right here is the apple barrel paint. So it's fairly thin. So we may have to go over this again, but we might not. We'll have to see. We'll see what it looks like because, I don't mind that the darkness shows through there a little bit because I kind of like my stuff to be a little bit, look like we've had it around for a little bit. So we're going to see what this looks like and how this turns out. If we don't like it, what are we going to do, ladies? We're just going to paint over it and do something else, right? We don't have to, fret the small stuff. Just have fun creating. That's the idea, is to just create. So anyway, here we go. Now, I've watched 100 people do this with the Vaseline, and then now that I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, do I let it dry first? Do I just do it when it's wet? I think I let it dry first. So let's get this on here, and I'm just going to kind of get my strokes all going the same way, so I don't have little spots here and there, just like that. And I've got a little paint booger right there. There we go. Got him off. Okay, so here we are, right there. It already looks cool with the dark showing through the back there. But okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. I really don't want to put that on. I need it. Set these over here. We're gonna let this dry naturally for a second, and we're gonna work on our little ladybug right here. The ladybug. You'll dry it and then scrape it or sandpaper. Okay. See, your mind just goes completely blank when you go live and you're like, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do here? So we're gonna paint the backing on this black, okay, because that's going to show through, and then the black polka dots will be black and this will be black. Then we'll paint all of this red, and then we'll paint his head black and his antennas black, and then we'll take our paint markers and kind of spruce it up a little bit. So but we'll go ahead and get this started. So Christy, is that tag from Walmart? I heard they had a big one now. No, this one's actually from Essential Stencil. They have a set that you can buy. It's a 2-pack, and they go out of stock a lot because people love them. They're nice and thick. They're but yes, get your tags from anywhere. But I didn't know that Walmart had big ones now. We're gonna have to check that out. But honestly, most of the time when I want a tag, I bought those from Essentials. I bought a whole stack of them one time because I've had them for a minute because they were on sale, and so I got quite a few of them. But most of the time I just cut my own. Either I cut a thin one out on my laser, or I cut, a thicker one just out. I just cut it with the saw. So it's not real important right here because these aren't going to show through because you're going to have the top part, but I'm still going to paint it in case I don't line up my ladybug perfectly. It'll still be black up there and the wood doesn't show through, because we're not perfect when it comes to lining stuff up. Just painted that black. That's all we did. Okay, you guys, I'm going to sit that down. I'm going to grab some red paint because, of course, Christy didn't get her stuff out before she started. So let me grab a paper plate here. Now, this red paint that I'm using is from Rust-Oleum chalked paint. I buy it in the quart at I buy mine at Menards, and then I put it in these FIFO bottles. And it's a lot cheaper to do it that way than to buy the smaller bottles or whatever. So, you guys, I am reaching like crazy. Oh, 7:45 is 6:45 there, yeah. I thought it was a fan blade. Oh, no, it's a stencil. So, I'm reaching real far to grab my paint brushes, and I put them on a turnstile. All I gotta do is turn the turnstile. Lost my mind, y'all. Guys, you know what? I'm not going to use a paintbrush on this. I'm going to use a makeup wedge because I'm always saying we should use those so that we don't get it along the sides and all that. And this is a perfect example of when I should use one. And it's 7:45 in the morning, so we're not thinking right? So I'm just going to lay this right here in this plate, okay? And we're just going to, here we go. Get her done, girl. Get her done, right? Anyway, here. And then we're going to go up with the black up at the top. And then, like I said, we'll embellish it and make it look kind of cute. A little bit different. And now I went up over the edge there, right there where it probably would stop, where the black would stop. But that's okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a paint marker. And I'm going to draw me a, like the bottom of his head from one side to the other so that I have a spot to stop. I'm usually not real picky about that. I'm usually, wherever it goes, it goes. And if it blends, it blends. I'm okay with that. But I don't know. I just felt like being kind of picky today. So I could grab my scissors here. I'm just going to cut the end of this makeup wedge off. I'm not going to toss it. I'm going to keep it in case I need to touch up any of the red like that. And then I'm going to get into the black right here. And again, I'm just going to use it No need to waste your wedges. You can just use them over and over again. And here we go with our little guy. Now we're going to have to put some, make him kind of whimsical and stuff. We'll have to put some little highlighting things and stuff like that on here. But we'll let it get good and dry beforehand. But here we go. So see, when we put this together, it's still wet. Cute little butterfly. I keep saying butterfly. Ladybug. So let's let that dry. And then let's grab our tag back. And let's see how it's doing. Probably going to have to put the dryer on it for a second. And I've got stuff everywhere, you guys. Stuff everywhere. Alrighty, let's go. Let's dye in the paint. There we go. Looks like it's getting pretty dry. Let's finish drying it. Launch that love. Thank you, Miss Pat. Thank you, Miss Pat. So, Miss Pat from Unique is on here. She was on right before me, you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys watched her. She does some fun stuff. And I believe Debbie from Secondhand Treasures is up after me. As of last night, it was. Let's see. I admire you, Trish, for you working such a teaching job as a nurse plus servicing us. It'd be great. Oh, well, thank you so much, Pam. I'm not a nurse. My daughter is a nurse, but I am a tool maker. I work in a factory. I work third shift, so I'm just getting home on a normal circumstance. So that's pretty darn dry. I hope I'm doing this right. I'm just going to grab this scraper. Now, you guys, my scraper has seen better days. Let's see, it's all nasty. I need to get me a clean one. It's got stuff on it. It's one that I took out of the garage years ago, and I've just never got me a halfway decent looking one. Oh, see there, it's working. That works. That's kind of cool. Easy peasy lemon squeezy right here. There we go. Ooh, I like that, you guys. Nice and simple and easy. Look at all that good chippiness. My friend Melissa from Junk and Craft Treasures does this method all the time. I'm always watching going, hey, you know what? I want to try that. I've just never brought myself to try it. That's pretty cool. Now, I am sure when I put these polka dots on, I could probably go back over it with the scraper again because, you know, the Vaseline will still be on there. And then we could chippy the polka dots a little bit, you know? That might be kind of cool, too. So I'm going to lay that down right there. And this did come from Essential Stencil a year or so ago. So I've had it for a little bit. So, I'm not even sure if they have it on their website. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't look before I came live, and I should have. Now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of lining it up. So what you can do is either come over here so that you have a perfect circle along there. See that? But then when I get to the other side, I've got little guys. I don't really want that. I kind of want it to be half and half on both ends, okay? So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go about halfway in that one, and then I'm going to look down here. Now, see down here, it's about a quarter. So I'm just going to kind of even that up a little bit, just so that it's pleasing to your eye on how, you know, the partial polka dots are going to look. Now, it's the same thing down here on the end. Down here, I have a perfect circle. I'm positive on the other end it probably isn't going to end in a perfect circle because I'm going to have to pick my stencil up and move it to get all the way to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off just a little bit so they're just kind of like a partial circle. And that way it looks like it's on there distributed evenly. Does that really matter? No, it doesn't really matter. If you do it the other way, it's not going to hurt a daggone thing. But, you know, just if you miss it, if you accidentally put it on there evenly, it doesn't matter. People won't notice things like that. But if you're paying attention and you want to get it on there straight, go for it, you know. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here. I'm going to get a little more red paint. And we're going to put some right here on our plate. And you definitely don't need as much as I just put on there. Okay, now that is way too much paint. See all that paint? Okay, I'm going to wipe it off. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to work that paint with a swirling motion. I'm going to get it up in my bristles. See? I want it up inside the bristles. Right there. Okay? Because I want the end to be pretty dry. See how dry that is? That's what you want. Less is best when you're stenciling. If you're not positive, pull your paper towel out and make sure you've got it pretty dry. Okay? That's what helps you so you don't have bleed through. All right, so now here we go with our little red circles. Now, I know a ladybug has black circles, but I wanted to do the red, and then I'm going to do the, what did I say, hello? We're going to do that in black. So kind of opposite a little bit of our actual ladybug, but that's just, I don't know, that's what I chose to do. That's what I thought would look good when I started this morning, when I got my stuff out and was thinking about everything, because I'm a last minute goose. I always, you know, I can come up with something the night before, and that's what I'm going to do. I can lay it all out, and then I get in here in the mornings and I'm like, no, I want to do this. Or I see something overnight and it's like, oh, I remember that stencil. I want to use it for this or whatever. I'm very indecisive, very indecisive. Happy Monday to you too, Elizabeth. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Oh, we must have a new, hey, I see my friend Lisa from Heart's Desire. There's my pal Lisa. How you doing, girl? But there must be someone new. Welcome, Robbie. I must have missed that. I apologize. Hello from Kentucky. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I did it, girl. I did the chippy. I did it. You just never know. You never know if you're new here on my page. I'm Funky Junk Inspirations. I'd love it if you'd follow me. I like to try things, and most of the time I'll try something live, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So you get to see the real thing here. So I try not to be. I usually try it on a live because you know, I figure that's the way we can all learn. And a lot of times, in fact, most of the time, if something's not working, I usually have a sweet friend on the live going, do this, do this, do this. And then we get it to work. So that's just what I like to do here. Now, if you notice, I didn't get all my circles perfect. There's still some white showing through. And I'm okay with that. I like that look. See what that looks like? I like that look. Okay, so now we need to slide this up. Actually, I'm going to spin it around so that you guys can see, because my camera stands right there. I can't slide over any farther. So, but you guys, I ordered one that hooks that'll come up and over. So that's going to help us with having more room on the table. Okay, so just line that back up with your holes right here like this, or your little pokey dots. And we'll get those right there. Just make sure you got it semi-straight, but you see how I can just line that up with the whites till I can't see that background anymore. And again, does it have to be perfect? Heavens, no, it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll all be good. It'll all be good. All right, close enough. Close enough. Let's get some more red paint right here. I'm gonna wipe that off a little bit. There we go. And here we go. If you're ever not sure about your stencil, whether you have too much paint on it or whatever, when you go to your stencil, go in the plastic part. Go in the mylar part. Don't go straight to one of your, one of your designs that you're stenciling. Just do it on the plastic just to make sure. That's always a good idea to do. I don't always do that, but that's what it's one of those do as I say, not as I do type of thing. But look right there. We have a fun little polka dots. with some chippy behind it. I love it. I know you love some polka dots. Putting some on a turkey today. Oh, Lisa, that's going to be awesome. You guys make sure you check out Lisa's page. She's got all kinds of fun stuff going on over there. She does a lot of the wood cutouts and stuff too. So fun. All right, you guys. Dry enough. Now, one of the things that I usually do this after my life, but I'm going to show you guys real quick here. I will take, this is just a junky piece of sandpaper, and you can feel where I stenciled, all right? Very, very lightly. I just kind of go over and knock those tops off. Do you need to do this? Absolutely not. You definitely do not need to do this. But now it's nice and smooth. It's almost like it makes the paint be one with the wood so that you don't have those raised ridges on there. I've told the story before. I had a lady, or actually it was a gentleman, at a show one time critiquing me and telling me that I think I want to go hello down here and see if we'll have room to put him about right there. That'll be good. That'll be good. Telling me that I didn't paint something that because he could feel the ridges and stuff. He thought that I had done it on my Cricut, which is fine when you do stuff like that on your Cricut and everything, because I do all the time anyway. But he just wanted to argue with me, so I started sanding those edges off because, you know, you spend the time to paint it, you want everybody to see it, right? Right. Okay, so I'm going to do the hello in black. I'm just, again, lots of paint. Did you see it? There we go. I'm going to set this over here. Now you can go ahead and use your makeup wedge if you wanted to. I just always use my essential stencil brushes. I love them. Right there. And just kind of work that off. And I've got a mess on my plate. Don't make your plate messy like I did, because you should be able to get quite a bit on there, not just two colors. But I'm just making sure it's off right there. And here we go. Now black is very, this black chalk paint anyway, it covers just about anything. It's nice and thick, and a little bit goes a very, very long way when you're stenciling. So just remember that. And the other reason I wanted to sand over that before I put the hello on there is because the little polka dots would have little ridges showing through on the black. Does that make sense? So we just wanted to knock those down before we put it on there, so then the hello will flow a little bit better. But anyway, here we go. See, I went over into the plastic before I went over into my stencil just to make sure. It's a good idea to do, especially if you're having any kind of issues with bleed through or anything. When you're stenciling, the idea is less is best. Use the least amount of paint as you possibly can. Put 2 coats on if you have to. But you will be shocked. I want to tell you this. If you are stenciling and you're going along here and you're like, man, it doesn't look like it's covering, before you worry about going in and doing that second coat, kind of hinge your stencil up and look, because you would be surprised how much brighter it is on your project than what it looks like went through your stencil. So it's always a good idea just to kind of lift up the edge and just double check to see if it's what you want, because you might not need to spend the time to do a second coat. Okay, so looky right here. I think it looks cute. It's also a good idea to just take a glance, because if you don't take a glance and you've missed a spot, you're going to be mad at yourself later on. So just take a glance to make sure you got everything. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little guy here, and I'm going to take my stencil brush, and we're going to frame in the edge here. And actually, I usually do my stuff double-sided, so I've still got to do this back side, but I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to just go ahead and take my stencil brush, and I'm just going to go along the edges here. Now, when I'm doing this, see how it's showing up? It's kind of framing in my project. So I want to do that because I think it makes your project look finished when it's kind of framed in a little bit like that. So I'm just going to go along here now. Look, I'm not being picky about getting every little spot, and I already closed my lid on my paint. And I don't have any more over here. I'm just going to get a tish more. I don't want my paint brush to be, you know, really coated in paint when I'm doing this, because like I said, I'm just going along that edge. And see how it's kind of framing it in? I'm going to show you the other way that I do it too. But when you're painting the sides, you can just do it like this, and it does it for you too. Does that make sense? I'm kind of rattling here. Okay, let's go here. Let's get along the bottom here. See that? Quick and easy way to get the sides done. And it just kind of, like I said, I'm not perfect along that. That's okay. But then what I like to do is I take my brush and I swoosh down. I brush down like that. Okay. And what that's doing is that's bringing that black up onto the top up here. And it's kind of shadowing my project so that my project looks like it's framed in. And I think it adds dimensional step to my sign. I like doing it, and I'm not going to take the credit for being the first person to do it. Miss Shanna from Frame It and Contain It is the one that I seen do this the first time and was like, oh my gosh, that looks beautiful. And she convinced me, and I do it every single time. So right here we go, right there. So see how it has that framed spot there? See that? I like that. I love this sign, you guys. Pretty excited about this sign. So let me put the lid back on that. I'm going to grab my paint markers. Actually, we're going to glue this puppy together. I didn't worry about painting the back because we're going to glue it onto our sign right here. Okay, so I'm going to glue these guys together just like that. And I like to use the stick fast glue, and I've got it right up here. This is the glue that I like to use. You can use wood glue or whatever you want to use. So, well, hello, Mary. Hello, how are you? How are you? It helps pull in the chippy look. Yes, it does. It does. Now I got to get my lid off. You guys, I cleaned this nozzle, and I must have not cleaned it very good. Ah, you guys. Holy moly. This don't usually stick like this. It's my fault that it's stuck because I messed up. And I got a whole bunch of glue on my nozzle. And then I put my lid on. And I'm not cutting it. I'm just trying to get a hold of it. I'm just going to do this. This stuff usually does not stick real bad like that. So don't hold it against the glue there. This is totally my fault. I got a whole bunch on my nozzle, and then I just stuck the lid on. And then the other day I couldn't get it off very well. And so I tried to clean it, and I must have not done very good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some paint on some glue on my plate right there. Okay, and I'm going to put this lid back on because waste not, want not, right? We can still use it. And I'm just going to take my little thing, and I'm going to dab it in this paint because you don't need a whole lot. Or I keep saying paint in the glue here. Mainly getting along the edges and stuff like that. Don't stick your fingers in it. That's probably good enough. If it doesn't stick, I'll fix it later. Not a big deal. Okay, and then I'm just going to line this up. See, I had it on my hand. I'm going to line this up. And what's cool about this glue is you have a minute to get everything lined up, but it also dries real fast. So you can, you give it a little press and then it's good. Okay. Now, if you get glue where you don't want glue, use this debonder right here, and it will take that glue off. But you can also use it on your fingers if you get some on your fingers, because my fingers are kind of sticky. And you can kind of wipe that off a little bit. There we go. Silly me, silly me. Now I'm going to grab my white paint marker right here. And we're going to give this some fun little pieces. You guys, I'm going to toss this in the trash before I stick my hand in that glue. If I need to use another plate, I'll use another plate. There we go. Then I'm gonna have to work on that glue because that's almost a brand new bottle there. So anyway, so we're just gonna put some little highlights on here. Nothing fancy or anything like that. I like to do dots. So I'm gonna do a couple dots and a line, couple dots. See, I'm just nothing exact, nothing fancy, but it just makes him look a little whimsical like that. Okay. No, that's probably all I'm going to do is that right there. But just that little bit makes that look, I think it makes it look really cute. Okay. Now I need to put him on here. I'm going to have to get my glue back out again. Right there. Just like that. Oh my gosh. Absolutely adorable. I love this. Absolutely love this sign. This is my favorite sign so far today. So I'm just going to put some on. My paint's not probably dry. I'm just going to grab a little bit here. I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom of my ladybug and go from there. Now you could use your hot glue. I do plan on putting this on my front door so the sun will be on it. So I don't want to, actually, no, I'm not going to put it on my front door. I think I'm going to sit it on my table where my plants and stuff are, like in a little stand is what I'm actually going to do. But you don't want to, if you put it on your front door and you're using hot glue and you've got direct sun, sometimes your hot glue will get hot and then your stuff will fall apart. But, you know, you just have to glue it back on there. You guys, I absolutely love that. Isn't that adorable? Absolutely adorable. I love him. I love him. I love him. Let me pull up, let me just pull up my screen here and you guys can just look at him real close. I love him. Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. How's that go? Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. Something, 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 something. Does anybody remember that song? Or am I showing my age? I use the stick fast. Hello, Sonia. How are you doing, girl? I use stick fast. Now, if you buy the stick fast, make sure you buy the medium or the thick. If you buy the real thin, it's a lot like super glue. It's a CA glue. So if you buy the super duper thin, it kind of runs out everywhere on you. Okay, you guys, we had the little issue. I was worried about the, let me see. I think, you know what? Look what we're going to, no, we can't do that. You guys, I wanted to put, this was the idea when we started. I wanted to take this 12 by 12 sign and put the windmill on it. Okay? Like that. And then my thought was to put Country Roads Take Me Home across the center. But silly me, I didn't pay attention to the size of that. So it actually won't fit to just go straight across there like that. So, you know what I think we might do is, let's do something different across there. Let's put the windmill on, and then we will decide what word we want to put across there. We might want to just leave the windmill, because I think the windmill is very, very cute. What is that? What's happening? Ladybird, ladybird, fly away home. Your house is on fire and your children are gone. There we go. Thank you. There we go. I could not remember what it was. Yeah. Kind of morbid when you think about it, right? No kidding. No kidding. I could just put country and then roads at the bottom. You're absolutely correct. We'll do that. So there is a possibility I won't get this done, but if I don't get it done, we'll finish it on another live. Someone asked if it would fit the other way. Yeah, well, my board is 12 by 12, so it's a square board, so it won't fit either way. So I should have grabbed another board. I have all my boards are out there, or out in the barn, and I just grabbed a couple when I came in yesterday, and I need to grab some more. because usually I go out and I'll cut a whole bunch of them up, but I don't bring them in my craft room yet because, excuse me, you guys, goodness sakes, my coffee's giving me little burpees there. I don't bring them all up here and take up the space up here. I leave them out in the barn stacked up, and then I just bring them in as I need. And silly me, I didn't bring any of the bigger boards in. But we will have them after today. I will go out and get some of each size. That would be the smart thing to do. I love this Valspar antiquing glaze. I love how that makes that wood look. I love to use the Men Wax stain as my background, my base on my stuff, because you can get it in any color. You just have them mix the color like you do paint. It's the Men Wax water-based stain. I love using it too. We could have done that as a background. I use black a lot as my background when I do stuff like that. So that's kind of, cool. I was going to see if I did a sign the other day. This sign right here, this pink and this purple, those are stains. Those are pink and purple stains that I put on there. Can you see that real close? But I put that in the background. Now I have, see all that yummy texture? I use salt wash to make that texture. But my background is stained. So you can get your stains in all the different colors and stuff like that. I have pink, I have purple, I have orange, I have all the fun colors. So I'm going to dry this a little bit. We're going to use the tippy method again because I kind of liked how that looked. What do you do for your knots? I don't do anything. Now, if, because most of the time my signs are going to be inside. Now, if my sign is going to be outside and you do have trouble with your knots, where the wood starts seeping through, you can put, like on my porch leaners, if a piece of wood has a ton of knots, I will put the Dixie Belle, is it Boss? I'll put that on them. But most of the time, I just leave them alone. When I seal my board, I take my board, especially if it's going to be outside, and I spray it 2 or 3 times with the Rust-Oleum 2X clear. Usually use matte. Okay, and then like I said, if it's going to be outside, then I take with a paintbrush and I put the Valspar. Is it Valspar? Gosh, you guys, I haven't done a board in a long time. Anyway, I put a varnish type of finish on it, and that helps on the outside. Now, here's what I try to do. If I am selling a board that I know someone's going to sit outside and the sun's going to beat on it, because no matter what you do, your wood is a living, breathing thing. So it's going to move, it's going to warp, it's going to peel. Your paint's not going to stick. It's going to peel eventually. Your knots are still going to bleed sap through. Just tell your customer that. Don't hide it from them or act like, yours is going to do better than someone else's or whatever. Just tell them. There is a possibility that eventually over time, this board is not going to look as good as it does right now. So you need to keep in mind that, the wood, it's wood. It could seep. It could peel. The paint could come back off. All that kind of fun stuff could happen. My dog is barking downstairs. My granddaughter's probably freaking out because she's in her room. But just be honest with your people and tell them. Okay? Now, also, if, I always tell them too, if within the first couple weeks, if something happens, let me know, because I want people to be happy. And there has been times that I've taken people's porch leaners and I've redone for them. But I won't redo them the next season, okay? Because as well as I do, that by the next year, you don't know what people have done with their stuff. Sometimes they leave their stuff sitting out. That's not going to work. So, I try to work with my people because it's going to peel. It's going to peel. So you can't help it. And the knots will show through. Just be honest about it. Most people just like your design and stuff. They don't, they understand. Most reasonable people. I've had people that, you just can't work with. But, you know, you always have that no matter what you do. So I'm just putting paint on here. This is a bigger board, so I wanted to use my bigger paintbrush. But the biggest thing is just tell people. Most people understand. I mean, I have a porch cleaner that sits out at my barn that I painted, and I did nothing to the knots. I did nothing but I actually only sprayed it with the Valspar 2X stuff, and it sits out in my barn. Now, it sits under an awning, but it sits out all year long. It gets wet and all that kind of stuff, and it hasn't peeled, warped, or nothing. I've also had boards that within the first week warped and started peeling and stuff. It just happens. There's not a lot you can do about it. But like I said, just let your people know what they need to do. And also what I'd like to tell people too is, you know, like our big porch cleaners and stuff is in the spring when you get it out, give it a new coat of clear coat. You know, it'll brighten it up and make it shiny again. So don't really have too many complaints about things. So, but you're always going to have that one, right? That one that'll make you gun shy on everything. Here we go. So we just doing that same technique because I thought that was kind of cool. And we'll just go over this. I just put the same old plain, this white antique or apple barrel paint on here. Like that. Right there. And I put my brush in there and I'm going to dry this. Watch my time. Oh, I'm done. Sorry, you guys. I thought I had plenty of time. You guys, I apologize. Go check out Deborah. I calculated my time wrong. You guys go check her out and have a great rest of your day. I apologize. Silly me. You guys, thank you for stopping by. Now I got to end my thing right here.